Here are the top 10 cars that came with way too much power from the factory. Some of these I'm sure you've never even heard of. Be sure to stick to the end, because I guarantee you the last one you didn't even know existed. These cars shouldn't even be street legal, but they are. Coming in at number 1, we got the Tesla Plaid. Why do we need a 1,000 horsepower electric car for road use? Honestly, what was Elon Musk even thinking? Who is this car even marketed to? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's for dads who don't want to upset the wife by getting an expensive looking sports car. It's easy to tell her, hey, I found an eco-friendly family car that we can take on road trips, all while saying behind her back that it'll absolutely destroy every car off the line in existence on and off the track. All I'm saying is that you better have some extra tires ready for this thing, especially if you're going to be buying it to be ratchet on public roads. There's nothing like being the guy with 1,000 horsepower driving like an idiot in a school zone. Honestly, if you're not a dad, don't even get this car. I'm personally going to revoke your driver's license if you do. The fact you can also get this car for 60 to 70K is mind-boggling. I feel like it should be required to put in an application for this car and have passed at least 10 driving tests by Tesla before you can even buy it. And don't even get me started on the fact that it has a 0 to 60 of 1.98 seconds, literal insanity. At number 2, we got the Mercedes AMG S63 E Performance. I do love AMGs, but holy crap, who knew this thing came with 800 horsepower from the factory? Not only this, it has 1,055 foot-pounds of torque and a 0 to 60 of 3.2 seconds. This thing would keep up with supercars even though it weighs 5,500 pounds. Honestly, I take this over a Tesla Plaid. At least it has some personality to it, and I mean, look at the interior. It seems like it's more of a family car over the Plaid, and you can use it to flex on your relatives at the family cookout. It's also a twin turbocharged V8, so I can completely understand why it has so much power. But 800 horsepower, man, how did they even come up with this decision to make this monster of a car? Now at number 3, we got the SSC Tuatara, a hypercar from the literal outer cosmos. This thing has 1,750 horsepower. It weighs 2,700 pounds and a 0 to 60 of 2.5 seconds, which is absolutely insane. It's getting all its power from a twin turbocharged V8, and all I gotta say is kudos to them for not making this car electric. It even has a top speed of 275 miles per hour. Jason Calstriota actually designed this car, and it takes inspiration from the aerospace industry. Who would have guessed? Another fun fact about this car is that it's named after the Tuatara, which is a reptile which has the fastest evolving molecular evolution of any animal. To be honest, I hadn't even heard of this car before making this video, but now I have some respect on its name. It's a literal jet on wheels, and you can get them for around $1.6 to $2 million, which, I mean, if I had that amount of money, I'd rather get this over a Bugatti any day. Bugattis are for poor people and NPCs. At number 4, we got a car that we all know and love, the Dodge Hellcat Charger, and also the Dodge Challenger Demon 170R. These cars are terrorizing streets everywhere, and they have way too much power for the average owner. From the factory, these things come with a supercharged V8 and 700 horsepower, and if you get the 170R, you can easily push 1,000 horsepower on E85 gas. You can often find these cars either stolen or wrecked because the typical owner seems to never be able to handle the power or just want to make a quick buck, or they end up being abused and terrorizing the streets like SRT Miles did on Instagram. He ended up having to pay the city $86,000 in fines for his hooligan activities that were waking people up in the middle of the night. Too many kids are getting their hands on these cars and getting them repoed because of the late payments. On top of this, dealers are not able to sell a lot of them because of their bad titles, and all the Mopars are simply way overpriced, so they just sit on the lot collecting dust. Next at number 5, we got another special car, the Koenigsegg Gemera. The competition for unnecessary horsepower just keeps on going. This car comes with 2,300 horsepower. Like, bro, on what road or planet are you going to be using this much power? What's crazy is that this is faster than the Tesla Plaid, with a 0 to 60 of 1.9 seconds, and it's not even an electric car. But did you guys know that this car can hold 4 people? Can you imagine having your wife and 2 kids in your car while you break the sound barrier? I honestly couldn't, because I can't afford this car in any way, but I guess all I can do is dream about it. At this point, how does the car even stay planted? What insane traction control system have they installed in this car? I have so many questions on its safety features, but all I'm saying is that if I ever got this car, you can catch me on either the airstrip or the Autobahn. At number 6, we got a car from Southeast England, the Caterham 620R. This thing comes with 310 horsepower, but here's the thing. It only weighs 1,345 pounds, so its 0 to 60 time is 2.79 seconds, which is crazy, and they cost around $72,000, which is a kind of a lot considering this thing is basically a British go-kart. It's for sure a collector's car or something that would be a blast to take to the track. What's even crazier is that this car simply has a turbocharged 4-cylinder motor, and it's able to beat cars with 3 times the amount of cylinders, including the Lamborghini Veneno, which is the fastest Lamborghini to date, and has a 0 to 60 of 2.8 seconds. Now this car really has no place for public roads and is perfect for a track day weapon. Now at number 7, we got the TVR Speed 12. I'm sure most of you guys haven't even heard of this car, but it does exist, and it is street legal. It comes with 840 horsepower, it only weighs 2,400 pounds, and has a 0 to 60 of 2.9 seconds, so it keeps up with the Lamborghini Veneno quite easily. This thing looks like it belongs on a NASCAR track with how it's built. It's definitely not the best daily considering it only has 2 seats, has a roll cage, and probably no air conditioning. But what makes up for that is the fact that it's a V12 and has a 6-speed manual transmission, which is a dead breed that we see in supercars nowadays. So they really made sure that this was a driver-focused supercar, and it's literally what every car guy wants, but everybody just wants to move towards electric vehicles. All the big supercar companies are run by tree huggers and people who eat granola bars for every meal of the day. And don't even get me started on how the mining of lithium for electric cars is worse than the oil industry and gas emissions. Coming in at number 8, we got the Toyota Camry TRD. What used to be a mom car has now become a sports car with too much power for its everyday driver. They come with 300 horsepower, and I mean, to be fair, so many companies are upping the power for their vehicles that the standard is a lot higher now. But I mean, come on, these Camrys are looking insane. They got quad exhaust, giant wings, and now there's an entire Camry car community. Did I mention that they have a 8-speed automatic as well? They even got good gas mileage with 25 to 30 miles per gallon, and all I'm saying is that a soccer mom does not need a Toyota Camry TRD. Get a base model or something else. At number 9, did you know Ford made a Mustang called the Shelby Super Snake? This thing made 850 horsepower from the factory, and it cost over $100,000 to buy one. There were only ever 250 made, and they came out in 2015. And to make that much power, they threw in a 3.0 liter Whipple supercharger. This is by far the most dangerous car on this list. Mustangs are already known for crashing into crowds of people and spinning out. Now they made one with nearly 1,000 horsepower from the factory, and that's just asking for trouble. All I'm saying is that if you get this car, don't even drive it to the car meet, bring it on a trailer and just park it there, because it's just a giant liability that no one wants to be a victim of. And lastly, at number 10, did you know that the Arab Emirates actually produced a car that has 5,000 horsepower? It's actually called the Devel 16, and it's a literal UFO on wheels, and there has only been one ever made. It's a 16-cylinder hypercar that will never be produced again, and was just a one-off project that will never be street legal. Devel has actually stated that their car has a 0 to 60 of 1.8 seconds, which is absolutely mental. But there are many speculations about this car because there's not much information about it. People like Supercar Blondie and Shmee150 did an overview of this car, and it was never truly mass produced, and the project seemed to die off. The claims about this car are out of this world, and I myself am a little suspicious and skeptical on this car for the amount of power that Devel claims it has. In the videos that you see of people driving it, it sounds like a V8, and many people are saying that they stole the concept of the C8 Corvette. But who knows, a car with this much power would probably explode off the line and blow its tires out before it even could race anyone. But I also do know that the Arab Emirates has plenty of money to actually produce this car if it doesn't exist already. The question is just when. Overall, those are the top 10 cars that have way too much power. If you think we left something out, be sure to comment it down below, and be sure to subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out.